can you not have fun? There's no police and you can go as fast as you want. That's fun.
Targa Newfoundland. In the world of motorsport, these two words are already famous, and the legend is growing. Gorgeous scenery, fast cars, and great hospitality have attracted 90 teams from all over the world. It's a week of competitive driving, camaraderie, and excitement like nothing you've ever seen. This is Targa Newfoundland, an automotive adventure. It all starts with Prologue Day, two closed-road qualifying stages just north of St. John's. These don't count for anything, but they let the organizers sort out the running order because the fastest cars run at the back of the field.
They've been told that it's the most amazing motorsport event they can participate in, and that's absolutely true. Still, they're going to be surprised. They're going to be surprised, first of all, by the challenge that the event presents to them because of the variety of roads and the variety of stages. And they're going to be absolutely amazed by the hospitality that they're going to receive here. They've never, I can guarantee they have never experienced anything like this in their lives, and they're going to have the time of their life for sure.
I'm Jim Kenzie. Drive your classic or modern car the way it was really meant to be driven. That is the essential premise of Targa, and it has drawn an international group to the schoolyard in Pooch Cove, Newfoundland. Guys like Tom Lambert.
Well, we had a party at Christmas in my house near London, and we'd been rallying, and there were 20 of us, had supper, and some friends from Vancouver were over, and he said, I'll do this Newfoundland thing if you do it. And I said later on, after a few more beers, well, I'll do it if you do it. So we've come from England, and he's come from Vancouver. Just to have some fun.
Fabulous.
Who's having more fun here, the kids or the drivers? What a welcome. With Prologue complete, the competition begins. 7 closed road stages on day 1 around the North Avalon. From St. John's, we'll take the Trans-Canada to Conception Bay South. That'll be followed by racing stages through Holyrood, Brigus, and beautiful Bay Roberts. After lunch, 4 more stages through Spaniards Bay, Osprey Trail, and a new one through the streets of Clarenville, where we'll stop for the night. The ceremonial start is at Mile 1 Stadium in St. John's. Hitching a ride in Mike Salter's race-prepared 53 Austin Healey is Paul Shelley, Newfoundland and Labrador's Minister of Tourism, Culture and Recreation. Stage 1, Conception Bay South. Scott Langen's 61 Corvette is part of a 4-car team raising funds for the Dartmouth General Hospital.
Good work. The course is phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and it's marked so well that, myself driving the car was just, it was a pleasure to drive the car around here. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to Targa Newfoundland. This is going to be a blast.
Here's the 65 Mustang of Minnesotans Tom Silver and David Foose. They came very close to winning Targa last year.
And easy, we got an exposure to the right, so take it easy.
Exposure, that's co-driver talk for be careful or we'll be treading salt water. Now, if this event has a favorite, it would have to be car 504. That's Bill Arnold and Tammy Hull's 1972 BMW Bavaria. Bill is the defending champion, and Tammy's no slouch herself.
It was back when I'd been racing for a few years, and he was my mechanic at the time, and I kept teasing him that I was faster than him unless he actually started racing and could prove that I wasn't. But I'm a better navigator than he is, and we learned that the first year when we showed up and we didn't really know what we were in for. We didn't understand what Targa was exactly. I thought it was just an open road race, and I was just going to be along for the ride. And then it turned out there was a little bit more rallying involved, and I've done thousands of TSD rallies, it seems like. And so I was like, well, you know what? I can navigate. I can navigate my way out of a paper bag. So I'll navigate and let him drive. And he's the kind of driving conditions that we have. It's not a racetrack. It's gravel. It's tar. There's so many different changes. He's much better skilled at that than I am.
At Targa, there are classes for everything from vintage Corvettes to 400 horsepower Subaru rally cars. This is the factory car that just clinched another Canadian Rally Championship for Team Subaru. Driver John Painter.
I'm thrilled with the cars that are here this year. We had a great run last year and won our class. It may not be possible this year because there's some great cars in our class, great cars in all the classes.
This is Mike Salter's 3rd trip to Targa. His 53 Austin Healey 100 was involved in a crash in 2002, but he came back to win his class last year. Here's a car you won't see in every driveway. It's a Darien T9, an extremely rare mid-engine sports racer that could only be made in England. Australian Richard Kimber's right-hand drive Toyota Supra has run Targas in Tasmania and New Zealand.
I think it's all what you do with the car. I think people, people in very fast cars, might struggle. It's a lot more about experience. I think it is being steady. You don't win Targa in one stage. It's about finishing the whole event, and I think that's where a lot of people have come unstuck in the past.
Here's Canada's Targa expert Doug Mepham running it through the streets in Brigus. Doug caught the Targa virus in Tasmania in 2001. This will be the 5th Targa event for his immaculate 71 Volvo. Another returning team is Jeremy Hill from Toronto and Len McNeely from Whistler in a 65 Ford Mustang. They've had 2 second-place finishes in Newfoundland. Detroit trucking magnate Jerry Churchill always brings something unusual. This time it's a 63 Chevrolet Impala that he last ran in Mexico's Carrera Panamericana. Churchill is a fan favorite. Now you might wonder how all of these cars compete in the same race. Each class has a different target time. The modern cars have to go faster than the classics, so it's not about who has the fastest car, but about driving your car to its limit. Hey, that's me in Clarenville. I should have been suspicious when my co-driver flew into St. John's wearing an anti-nausea patch. He didn't last 3 stages. But navigators need a strong stomach, and fortunately, I found a willing substitute. Now here's Major General Lewis Mackenzie, who has always pursued 2 careers, one military and one racing.
I was on a treadmill last winter and saw the 1 hour special. Phoned Nigel, said, "What do you think?" "Yes," and we started to put the team together. Here we are.
Here's another It Could Only Come From England machine, the father and son team of Neil and Derek Young in the 1990 Caterham Super 7. Neil has another son entered too, so it's a family adventure.
241 T left.
The required speeds on day 1 are reasonably modest, and more than half the field made it through without penalty. The organizers want us to get warmed up before the flat-out driving of days 4 and 5. That's not to say we could relax, as Mark Cotman found out in Spaniards Bay. Ouch. Only the car was damaged, and the Jensen Healy would rejoin Targa 2 days later. Now here's Peter Smith in a fast BMW from California. The co-drivers have a book of instructions that describe each turn. The course is lined in colored safety tape, and there are plenty of arrows, but needless to say, the teams have not practiced the course. It's not like a racetrack where you can turn laps. This really is real roads and real cars really fast.
Guy behind you. Take a right here. Good work, nice work, good driving.
That's the Nova Scotia Corvette getting passed by the Colorado Audi, built 39 years later. Cars start at 30-second intervals, but with the fastest guys at the back, passing is common. Now, Tom Lambert and Peter Keel have rallied together for more years than they can remember. The little Darien looks perfect for this course. It only weighs 1,650 pounds with a 290 horsepower engine. In short, a rocket. On board now with Tom Silver and David Foose.
To the right. You turn to the right.
Now those warning triangles mean a car's gone off.
Okay.
Now that's the 74 BMW 2002 Turbo from Florida. Now you can see that in a big car like this Mustang, these tight Clarenville town sections are real hard work. Now every day there are chances to meet the locals, like this visit to the Caribou Legion Manor Retirement Home. Now the tea and cookies made a nice break. And you know, we're not only really cool race drivers, but we don't leave any dirty dishes. Now day 1 ended in the Clarenville Stadium. It was a chance to admire the cars up close for the locals, compare our war stories, and make repairs for the day ahead. Now the organizing committee checked the scores and, cranked up the target speeds for day 2. This program is brought to you in part by the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Targa Newfoundland. I'm Jim Kenzie. Bright sunshine on day 2 for a tour of the beautiful Kittiwake Coast. Closed road high-speed stages today through Port Blandford, the charming Eastport Peninsula, Greens Pond, New West Valley, Musgrave Harbor, and a day-ending blast through the suburban streets of Gander. Now in the Eastport stage, there's a tricky hairpin turn and different drivers have different techniques. Now Florida's Jeff Corlett got that BMW fixed overnight. And here comes that great little Darien. Only 35 of these things were ever built. What a terrific little sports car. Now those first two cars were rear-wheel drive. Lou Mackenzie's front-drive Dodge avoids understeer by jumping over the curb. But it's Painter who's posts the fastest time on the stage in the all-wheel drive Subaru STI. He's got a handbrake and he knows how to use it. Now, if precision driving without a roll cage or competition license is more your style, then the touring category is the best way to enjoy Targa. Touring is a time, speed, and distance rally where drivers compete against the clock, not each other. You have to maintain precise average speeds, near but not exceeding the posted limit. Touring cars drive the same route as the Targa class and enjoy the same freedom of a closed stage road. The challenge is to finish the stage on your set time. As long as you stay on schedule, you remain penalty-free. There are two classes in touring competition, Grand Touring and Grand Touring Equipped. Equipped cars have a rally computer to help them stay on time. Now, anyone with a street-legal car can join the touring event, and that's just one of the reasons 7 car manufacturers are supporting teams in this year's Targa Newfoundland. Mini Canada has entered My Car and Targa. The manufacturers often put automotive journalists behind the wheel and in the navigator's seat. It's a great way for us to learn about how the car handles and to get a great story. Mini also has a car in touring for Brian Harper of the National Post and Paul Williams of the CanadianDriver.com. Now, in addition to the Painter's awesome STI Targa car, Subaru has also entered Nadine Fillon and Philippe Crow in the Subaru Legacy in touring. Mazda has an RX-8 in Targa and a new Mazda 6 Sport Wagon in touring, both with journalist crews. Now, Bob English from Car Guide magazine is back for the 3rd time with Kia, which has stepped up to a 2-car team this year. Dodge supported Major General Lou Mackenzie's hot SRT4 in Targa, while Hyundai Canada is fielding a Tiburon in touring, driven by Speed Channel President Jim Liberatore, with a series of journalists and cable company executives taking turns behind the wheel. Mitsubishi joins the party this year with the Galant sedan in touring, run by the journalist brother team of Mark and Lawrence Hacking. But the top factory-supported effort in touring equipped for the 2nd year in a row is the Infiniti G35 Coupe of Jean-François Drolet and Régent Beaulieu. They will complete the 2,000-kilometer course with an astoundingly low total penalty score of just 4 seconds. And in the unequipped category, Newfoundland's own Chris Collingwood and Sean Longy will win handily in their Subaru WRX STI. Now, Greenspond was settled in 1697, making it one of North America's oldest towns. Like all the stage coordinators across the province, Derek Bragg had no trouble recruiting his Targa volunteers.
It takes a lot of preparation to get ready for the 40 or 50 minutes, right? The town folk, everyone loves coming out for the event, and I think all the squid fishermen are safety marshals today.
I work at a bank, and I take a full week's vacation unpaid just to come here. This is my 3rd year in a row now. Keep them coming.
You bet we will. Now, only 383 people live in Greenspond full-time, but they say everybody's grandmother came from here. Now, to get his volunteers, Derek hung up a sign, took the first 30, and told the rest, maybe next year. Now, here's one of the top Porsche crews, Glenn Clark and Evan Gamblin.
We've made a lot of changes to the car. We learned a lot on the event last year and made a few changes. I hope it's go a little quicker this year. The car is not significantly quicker, but it's a lot easier to drive. We have slightly different suspension. We have different brakes. Our engine is quite different from last year. So hopefully all that will help us in this race.
Now, Roy Hopkins and Adrian Hughes from New York brought this 1988 BMW M3 as a club race car and converted it back to street legal for Targa. This is their 2nd run, but back for their 3rd time are guys with a plan to win. Judd Buchanan from Georgetown, Ontario, with his navigator Peter Wright. Now, Buchanan may own the world's only hot rod Acadian Canso.
We're going to start quite aggressive to put some pressure on the perceived competition, and we'll take it from there. In a lot of ways, we're restricted to stay to, I guess, the original character of the vehicle and that, so it certainly makes classics quite a bit different than the modern cars in that way.
Any air conditioning?
Yeah, the windows are open now, yes.
With 2 second-place finishes to his credit, former Can-Am and Formula Atlantic race driver Jeremy Hill desperately wants to win in Newfoundland. Of course, Jerry Churchill has a lot of fans here as well.
The stages are all very interesting and obviously very much wanted by the communities because a lot of people, thousands of people, turned out to see them. and that shows support for Targa as it continues to grow.
Now, like Jerry Churchill, another believer in big horsepower is Carl Apfel from New York. With a 600 horsepower supercharged motor under the hood of his Mustang GT, he's not lacking in grunt. Now, to reduce costs, Targa Newfoundland has a rule that penalizes you for changing tires. The idea is that one set should last the whole week. Now, Carl might not have seen that rule. Now, the day was not going too well for Carl and Todd.
How did you run out of gas? It's called stupidity. No, the gauge is all messed up from all the bumps. I'll blame the car, and then I'm going to blame the roads.
And then the navigator.
And then absolutely the navigator. He's in there.
Wait a minute, the roads were so bumpy you ran out of gas? Now, Musgrave Harbor, no Targa Newfoundland will be complete without a blast through here. Now, this is the beautiful 1960 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint of Patrick Bowling and Martin Hancock from Chicago.
Last year we did the Targa Tasmania, and that's when we heard about this event, and so we immediately signed up for it, and we're very excited about it. Patrick and I were commenting today on how well organized this event is, and seeing you've only got 3 years under your belt, I think you've done a fantastic job.
Now, Musgrave Harbor has hosted Targa since the inaugural year. The experienced teams remember the town and the fast lines through the corners, like Californians Arnold and Hull.
Oh yeah, this. I remember this.
Yep, and then when you come out, it's a left.
Yeah, there's a lot of gravel out here. A lot of gravel on it.
You having fun yet, Tammy? Now to Gander we go, and one of the most unlikely racetracks in the world. We're driving as fast as we can through a residential subdivision, 7 kilometers long with 34 intersections. The longest straightaway is just 500 meters. Now, if you've ever owned a muscle car, admit it, you've dreamed of doing this. But normally, and quite rightly, you'd be put in jail. Now, to the good citizens of Gander and the huge number of volunteers who keep everyone safe, thank you, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Here are Clark and Gamblin again.
300 right over crest into T left. That'll be at the stop. Right over crest, T left.
Hang on there, Newt. Now, fellow journalist Bob English is showing his son Jonathan a bad example. He's really pushing this brand new Kia Spectra 5. Oh, did I mention that the corners come up really quickly?
100, right there, right
there. Hey, this car looks familiar. Now, don't try this at home, folks. We're professionals. Now, after a perfect U-turn on the neighbor's lawn, Richard Kimber tries to make up time on the next corner. Now, that's why you're not allowed to stand behind the red caution tape. Maybe our camera crew shouldn't have stood there either. Now, the St. John's Corvette team of Clarence Kent and Terry McCarthy dropped 6 seconds here in Gander.
There it is. You see your arrow?
I see my arrow.
Behind, so the street is in front of the arrow.
Yeah, got it.
Now 20 teams, including Hull and Arnold, cleaned the stage, meaning we met the target time for our class and so took no penalties. Now Lambert and the Darien was actually the fastest through here, but here's how our defending champions handled this stage.
Flying finish. Stop. Okay.
Dr. Robert Paccioni from Ontario has a beautiful 99 Ford Mustang. He's posted some top times, but his car is in the fastest class, so the targets are tougher to meet. Now, Lou McKenzie heard an expensive-sounding clunk when he shifted gears a bit too aggressively. He finished the stage, but he's lost second gear and 27 seconds. Now, at the Gander Arena, the real work begins. Bad news for Hill and McNeely. They broke down on the Gander stage and are now trying to make repairs.
We had a fuel line come loose, and we lost 3 or 4 minutes while I fixed it. And our chances at the win are gone.
9 cars tied for the lead. Speeds are going up. Competition's getting tighter at Targa Newfoundland. Welcome back to Targa Newfoundland. Now, Day 3 of Targa Newfoundland will run through the area known as Bay of Exploits. Starting with the reverse of the Gander stage, we'll back on the Trans-Canada Highway to Norris Arm, then to Botwood, and a long 30-kilometer stage from Point Leamington to Leading Tickles. Now, after lunch in Leading Tickles, we'll turn around, race back down to Botwood, then a new stage at Bishop's Falls, then to Norris Arm again, and then we're back to Gander for the night. A chair on the lawn gives you a perfect front row seat in Gander. Now, St. John's entrepreneur Scott Canoe and navigator Ray Felice of Ontario in a Porsche are in that group of 9 tied for the lead. This time, Gander runs in the opposite direction, but the target speeds are faster.
390 left, middle of the bend.
Now, Canoe makes his time, but Ralph Grant and his daughter Alicia in an old Volvo do not. Now, there are 8. Norris Arm is next. Now, you hear the drivers talk about how much loose gravel there is on the turns at Targa. Well, now you know who puts it there. Neil Young is back in the race after sliding off and doing some damage in Day 1. Hey, Neil, keep it on the island. Attaboy. Now, in what other race could you see a 1959 Mini from New Zealand outbreak a Citroen CX driven by a minister who calls himself the Faster Pastor? I am not making this up. Now, the 1996 Pontiac Ram Air Firebird slides around dirty corners with big fishtails. Newfoundlanders Tom Collingwood Jr. and Andrew Duffett, they've watched all those Smokey and the Bandit movies. All right. Now, Targa President Bob Canoe is proud of the event he has created.
The way the driving has picked up is quite incredible this year. The skill level has risen, the competition level has risen, and of course, accordingly, we've raised the bar for them, and they're performing well. To this point, which is, as I say, mid-event, we've had a couple of offs, some blueberry picking, and we haven't lost many cars. I think about 2 cars to this point.
The 30-kilometer stage through Point Leamington and on to Leading Tickles always has good action.
7, we're going to just go follow the harbor. Follow the harbor.
Now, the Hopkins Hughes BMW M3 hasn't picked up any penalty points yet. And Jerry Churchill never lifts as the big Impala gets out of shape on that crest. That flashing strobe is meant to warn you that he's coming, as if you couldn't hear him a mile away. Scott Langen's 61 Corvette Vintage Racer was only bought a couple of weeks ago. He's fast through Point Leamington. But those warning triangles are necessary to show the tow truck where to find the valuable old vet. The OK sign tells oncoming cars that medical attention is not required. Thank God. Now, American Jeff Corlett looks pretty quick in this BMW, but old BMWs can be tricky.
Left into right S. No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. I lost my turning. Right. Huh? I lost the gear. I couldn't get it back in gear. Okay, 200, hard left.
The lunch stop at Ocean View Park in Leading Tickles has become another Targa highlight. Stunning setting and a rare chance to try moose burgers for lunch. Now, some entries this year are former Targa volunteers, like the team of Andy Proudfoot and Bruce Terrace.
One of the initial intentions behind Targa Newfoundland was to promote motorsports, and they've obviously done a wonderful job of it because I've this year decided to become a competitor.
It's great to see the local participation. I mean, I've been watching this event myself for the last 2 years, and it's phenomenal to be here and be part of it.
How long did you plan?
We started planning about the day it ended last year.
Now, here's the scoreboard. 7 cars are still clean with no points, but some drivers here are licking their wounds after a tough morning.
We cleaned the tree so nicely that we think that we should go for Abitibi Price for a sponsorship for next year because it was that great.
Yesterday afternoon, we lost our second gear, and around here that's absolutely critical, especially coming through the last stage. So we pretty well gave up because the only part that could fix it was in Rivière de Loup. Within an hour, he had 2 calls. There are 2 SRT4s in Newfoundland. One's in Corner Brook, one's in St. John's. Both of them offered to take the transmission out and get it over to us. And one from St. John's is on its way up now. But isn't that unbelievable? Just unbloody believable.
It sure is. Now, Scott Gnu is in his 3rd Targa. He was part of that tie for the lead this morning.
We had a coil wire come off. We went from first to, I don't know where we'll finish off, but yeah, it's a disappointment.
Now, I don't want to leave leading Tickles, but we will when Targa Newfoundland continues. Welcome back to Targa Newfoundland. We're smack in the middle of the event, the afternoon of day 3. This is the Mustang of Dr. Robert Paccioni with co-driver Brian Maxwell. Paccioni came to Targa last year as a spectator, fell in love, then went home to Ontario to prepare a car and assemble a team. It's one of the most elaborate efforts here with a full-service crew and their own multi-camera video system. Now we're in Point Leamington, just approaching the flying finish line. But this is not the kind of image the good doctor was hoping to record. Because look out, there's a warning triangle. Oh, nuts. Somebody beat us to the best parking spot again. That's the Honda CRX of Stephen Ellis and Ken Simmons. Now, Bill Arnold and Tammy Hull are next on the scene.
Uh-oh, Adrian Roy? No. Okay. No, it's not. It's not. It's saying slow down. It's on the left. Lots of grass. Ooh. Oh, upside down. Right-hand drive. Right-hand turn. There's flying finish. Okay.
That's a Honda. And here's Stephen Ellis.
We just about had it, and we ran out of road. We landed, weren't hurt, got the jacks out, and then we could hear the other cars going by full bore, so we had to get out of here and get our triangles to run down there and back up around on the other side of the road so we didn't get hit. And unfortunately, before we could get everybody slowed down, another one came in and landed on top of ours, and that was the most sickening feeling, was to hear that car hit ours and wonder how they were.
We didn't see anybody coming. We locked the brakes up, and it just came straight off into the grass. I had no traction at all. But hopefully we can fix it. I don't think it looks that bad.
Andrew! Too close. But it was nice to see everybody was all, nobody was hurt or anything.
We had one of the best views there in town, I think.
Yeah. We were sitting on the wood chairs here on the lawn. Just up there in the hill. So we saw everything happen, right?
Now, Paccioni and his crew did get back in the race and won the Spirit of Targa Award for their perseverance. Now, do you remember Carl Apfel and his big hairy Mustang? Well, his adventures just keep coming. And so do his excuses.
Came around the corner a little bit too fast and hit a little bit of gravel. And my co-driver got very scared, grabbed the wheel, and screamed. No, that's not really what happened. I just lost control. We will definitely be in tomorrow.
You gotta love his attitude. Now, the Painter brothers in the Subaru STI rally car have posted the outright fastest time in about half the stages, and they repeated here at Leading Tickles. The Subaru covered the 30-kilometer run 11 seconds faster than our Mini.
We're going over the bridge. We're at 118.
Now, what's the secret to being a good Targa co-driver? Here's one of the best, Adrian Hughes.
You have to calm down your excited driver. You have to be able to do 10 things at once and hopefully recover from your mistakes quickly. There's room. Go. Go. I know. Good. Good. As we're coming up onto our crest, wait for the crest and we'll go by. Watch the crest. They see us. They're being good. They're being wonderful. Thank you. Top speed's we're at 136. Top speed is 143.
Now, another team with a perfect score and in contention for the classic win is Judd Buchanan and co-driver Peter Wright.
L4 very long. In 40. L4 very long.
Their 67 Acadian is old enough to compete in the classic division. Now, Bob English's Kia Spectra 5 is not really competitive against the other far more expensive machines in his category, but his goal was to win a coveted Targa plate for finishing every stage in a prescribed time.
Straight on. Right here.
They're going to make it despite the occasional detour.
You're all right? Yep, cool.
The town of Bishops Falls welcomed Targa for the first time this year. It was a terrific stage combining tight street sections with high-speed sweepers. Most teams cleaned it, so you can be sure next year we'll be asked to go a lot faster. Now, I don't know if those boaters are safety marshals or spectators, but it's nice to know they're watching either way. Not everybody got back to Gander under their own power. The Forbes team from Dartmouth crashed 2 of its 4 Corvettes. And the Chrysler dealer in Gander kept its service department open late to install a new, well, a borrowed transmission into Lou Mackenzie's SRT4. And as the sun sets over central Newfoundland, we'll take a break. We're back at the spectacular Targa Newfoundland. Day 4 features the Heritage Trail around the stunning Burin Peninsula. Stage 1 will be through Marystown. Next is the run to Garnish, then across the peninsula to Mortier, and on to Burin. The town of Burin will host lunch, and then we race back across the peninsula to tight stages in Grand Bank and Fortune, back through Frenchman's Cove, and on to a reverse stage in Marystown to end the day. The speed targets today are basically impossible, and no one will survive unscathed. Isn't Marystown beautiful? Now, Mike Salter's 53 Austin Healey takes its first penalty of the week, 5 seconds too slow at Marystown. He's battling Patrick Bowling in the old Alpha.
This is a tougher event this year than it was last year. It really is. You know, they've tightened our times up considerably, and we're finding it really hard going.
Well, I'd like to be his main competition, but I don't think we've seen all of Mr. Salter yet. So we'll see how he does over the next couple of days.
Bowling loses just 1 second to take the class lead. Ralph and Alicia Grant drop seconds too.
I don't think I would get in the car with anyone else. I know my dad's a great driver, so even though it's my first time, we're doing really, really well, and I think we're really proud.
Glenn Clark in the Porsche is still clean, tied for the lead.
Our intention is to just pace ourselves at the beginning of the week, not push too hard, and make sure the car is in really good shape for Friday and Saturday, because those are the days where the race is won and lost.
Now, Tom Lambert in the Darien is fast, just 3 seconds behind Painter, and he cleans the stage by 1 second. But the alternator belt has come off. The same belt drives the water pump, so the motor will overheat if they don't fix it right away. Changing a belt on a small mid-engine car is not a simple matter. For a start, the seats have to be removed.
Alternate belt through. Forward us up. Ran out of battery.
With water from a neighbor's hose and a local welder, the problem was sorted out, but the Darien had to miss a stage. Lambert and Keel can't win Targa, not this year. Welcome to the Burin Air Show. Now we're riding with Glenn Clark and Evan Gamblin as they chase down Tom Silver's Mustang. Silver takes his first penalty points here, 15 seconds, and I think they had a tire going down. Now, while we're focusing on the cars at the front, let's remember that there are still over 80 cars running, and there's action all through the field. That's Joe Butler in the white Mazda passing the faster pastor, Edison Wiltshire. The Painter brothers are fastest going in and out of Burin, but the target times for the Subaru supercar are so extreme that they're still taking penalties. This flowing road really suits the BMWs. Scott Smith from Palo Alto, California cleans the stage in his Bill Arnold prepared M3. And here's the turbocharged 2002 of Jeff Corlett. Just look at that scenery. No, not you, Jeff. Keep your eyes on the road. That was close. Now, Bill Arnold is starting to show how he won this thing last year. He's posting times that rival or beat the very best modern cars, but his 1972 Bavaria is a classic, which means his targets are much more doable. Mr. Arnold has studied the rules and created what he believes is the perfect Targa Newfoundland car.
And then it swoops down to the left, caution tightens, narrows, exposes.
Now, Patrick Bowling loses 17 seconds in his Alpha, which gives the Class 2 lead back to Salter's Austin Healey. The Buren is just so pretty, I want to move there. But fatigue, both human and mechanical, is starting to show. Just 4 teams remain clear, but Buren's a great place to refuel tired bodies or cement friendships or tickle your baby. Bill and Tammy brought little Dylan with them. It's also a place to fix tired cars. Before the outbound trip, the organizers shaved some more time off the targets. John Painter was the fastest again, even quicker than his inbound run, but this time he takes a 6-second penalty. Here comes another close call for Jeff Corlett. Whoa, but no contact, no foul. Now, we're really not trying to favor this guy with our coverage, but he has a real knack for doing good stuff in front of the camera. But you know, sometimes experience is overrated.
Okay, Scott, what has your experience of the last couple of years taught you?
Stay away from the guardrails. It's a bit of a joke with me. You at all times you can't drop your ball. You know, you got to make sure that you the speed is proportional to the road conditions.
Ouch! Yeah, well, Scott's not the only one who's having challenges. Coming up next is the toughest stage of the entire rally, and it's Fortune. How tough is it? Ask Bob English.
90 to hard right. Oh, okay, straight on. Flag finish. Yeehaw! Good job missing that pole there, buddy.
Well, of course he did that on purpose. The man's a journalist, and we stick together.
0.29.
The Hopkins and Hughes lose 4 seconds at Fortune, their first penalty seconds of Targa.
We're at 70. Immediate right.
Almost like a U-turn.
Tom Silver and Dave Foose from Minnesota and the Silver Mustang are struggling. 10 seconds lost at Fortune.
Left at T. Nice rocks.
But Bill Arnold predicted Fortune would be critical, so he held nothing back, finishing just 2 seconds off the target.
Oh my God. Whoa. Hard right.
Okay, L3 narrow.
Buchanan and Wright in the 67 Acadian tie Hopkins with 4 seconds in penalties.
L4.
Now back to Marystown for the final race of day 4. The speed knob has been turned all the way to 11. Just like Fortune, no one will escape Marystown without penalties. Tom Lambert lets fly with a new course record, but is still 5 seconds too slow. Classic Division leader Bill Arnold hangs it all out, but still takes an 8-second penalty. Roy Hopkins is even faster in Marystown and continues to lead the modern division. Arnold and Hopkins are only 1 second apart.
0.31. We're going to do a hard left.
We always hope to keep the car running and not have any mechanical problems that put us out, and so far that's working well.
Now you can see where all that gravel comes from. Glenn Clark's Porsche has a faster target time. He takes an 11-second penalty for a total of 18. Now the Acadian of Judd Buchanan and Peter Wright is the other contender for the Classic victory. They pick up only 8 seconds at Marystown, plus 4 at Fortune, for a total of 12 seconds in penalties. Every auto mechanic and welder in Marystown is busy tonight. It couldn't be any closer at the front.
It's very tight. It's all going to come down to this last day. Let's see what happens.
Now, for those of us not busy fixing their race cars, there's a party every night at Targa. The traditional screeching in is a must for us visitors. With 1 day to go, this is going to be good when we come back. Welcome back to Targa Newfoundland. Day 5, this is the home stretch. We begin the day from Marystown with a long transit stage over to the challenging Osprey Trail. Then we carry on to Placentia, on to St. Bride's, Branch North Harbor, and Haricot, and another long haul to picturesque Petty Harbor before ending where it all began, back in St. John's. Now, day 5 started with rain and a thick fog settled over the area, but that didn't keep the fans away or keep the cars off the road. By the time we get to Placentia, 4 teams still have a shot at winning. Buchanan and Wright are one of those teams.
Medium, okay, T right. Medium, T right, medium, T left.
Clark and Gamblin are also aiming for the win. On board with Bill Arnold, we see how poor the visibility is.
Hard left downhill.
Bill really has to trust what Tammy is telling him. He can't rely on his own vision.
Whoa.
Whoops, he overshot a turn. He wasn't the only one.
Then immediate hard left. Chill out.
Well, I totally screwed this up.
Oh well. Happens. You'll live. And then go on right. Oh, crap.
They think they've blown it. Now here's Jeff Corlitt's BMW. He's about to be swallowed up by Californian Scott Smith and Peter Guagenti in a 1988 BMW 325. They've posted some of the fastest times over the past 5 days. Unfortunately, they did a little high-speed farming on day 1, putting them out of contention. They're definitely a team to watch next year. Now we're in centuries-old Placentia. Now just after he makes this left turn, look at this white picket fence on the right-hand side. Right there. That's busted, and there's a story here.
Her grandchildren came over, her uncle came over, and they all said we provided the most entertainment. So we're happy that nobody was hurt except us.
Now Lou McKenzie reports that Grandma Jean's fence has been repaired and has even sent a commemorative plaque to mark the spot.
Do you know where it goes?
Yep. I can see.
I'm glad he can see. Now the next 3 stages are basically just highway runs. They'd be fun in nicer weather, but today we're all just looking forward to the final shootout at Petty Harbor. Now Canadians Glenn Clark and Evan Gamblin haven't lost any time today. They fly through Petty Harbor. You know, nobody has ever done this stage without penalties in the previous 2 years. Brilliant performance today, but unfortunately, they blew it yesterday in Marystown. Now, Langan's 61 Corvette is passed on the narrow road through town by Richard Patterson's even older Mini. The locals call that the Mr. Bean car.
I've been living there 17 years. 2 cars passing this small road there. First time I ever see it. Really exciting, really get your blood pumping.
You should see it from the driver's seat, my friend. Now here comes Jeff Corlitt for one more on-camera curtain call. I tell you, the man has a gift.
Why right a barrier? There it is.
Now Judd Buchanan will take 3 penalty points on the final stage. He and Peter Wright will have to wait for Arnold and Hull.
Don't
Now
cut.
the Acadian was supposed to be just a prosaic family car, but Judd's got an unbelievable suspension in this thing, and of course that huge V8 engine, and I think it looks gorgeous.
Wow, good going, guy.
That was it. Okay, 0.36 is going to be a hard left turn onto the bridge. Caution, narrow.
Barring disaster, Roy Hopkins and Adrian Hughes in the BMW M3 have the modern division locked up. But they're racers. They're still going flat out to try and get a perfect score on every stage.
Over a raised bed, narrows. Right turn uphill.
Here comes the finish. No penalty. They've made it. Now it's all up to Bill and Tammy to stay perfect.
There's to the left, really tight left. Caution, narrows, don't cut, double apex, and a bridge.
Got it.
Goes right over a bridge, raised bridge, and narrows. Left into crest in 10. Don't cut on the right bend. It goes right after.
And here are the defending champs.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! We got it! Do you think you did it? Got it! Oh my God!
They did it. The winners of the Classic Division yet again.
The car's just great. I can still drive it. Ha! This was the ride of a lifetime, without a doubt.
It was unbelievable.
Award ceremony and party on George Street in St. John's.
We had a great time.
The best. The very best.
It's just unbelievable, this event. You know, for a 3-year-old event, we've been around rallying, all of us, for a long time, and you know, you see new events come and go, and this here, just with the amount of people and the attention that it's getting, and you know, like over 90 cars starting this year. We haven't had a national event with 90 cars in a long time, so you know, I think it's going to be here. It's going to be here to stay.
I think there really are two things that are the essence of Targa Newfoundland. One is the opportunity to drive by a 40-kilometer-an-hour speed limit sign at 200 kilometers an hour. And the second is the look on an 8-year-old girl's face as we drove through her small town. She beamed a huge smile and waved at us. That's what Targa Newfoundland is really all about. I'm Jim Kenzie, and we hope you join us all next year for the Targa Newfoundland.
Targa Newfoundland 2005 will leave St. John's on September 12th. Check out www.targanewfoundland.com and try to join us. Coverage of Targa Newfoundland has been brought to you in part by the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Hope you've enjoyed this TV to Go Patterson Partington production.